There's a rampant problem in our society. And under this full moon in Virgo that we had on February the 24th, I took some time to reflect, to look deeply within myself, and to really open my internal eyes to see clearly what needed to be cleared away and what needed to be left to flourish. And as I did this practice, and as I tuned into the energy of this full moon, I most definitely received great insight that I knew before, but didn't quite have the depth of understanding as I do now. And so I wanted to make this video about why society lacks depth. As I did my own clearing away in my own life and eliminated people, situations, things, habits, ways of thinking, as I cleared these things away from myself and out of myself, I really started to realize more and more what it is that people lack and why they lack it. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you 15 reasons why society lacks depth today in our modern world, and 15 ways in which you can cultivate that depth within yourself, if that is something that you choose, if that is something that you desire to experience. The very first thing I wrote down was that we place more value on external beauty than internal beauty. Our social media is rampant with evidence of this, is it not? Everywhere you look, everywhere you turn, it's fake lashes, fake nails, fake face, fake ass, fake body, fake boobs, fake hair. It is so rampant. It's like wildfire that has spread through social media. And the masses seem to eat it up as if it was the next best thing. That in itself creates a major lack of depth within individuals. Number 2, we measure success based on what we have, what we drive, where we live, based on our postal code, not on the quality of life, the happiness, and the enjoyment of life that is what success actually is. I think we have misdefined the word success and gave it a new meaning, one that is false, one that is built on superficiality. Number 3, there's a lack of basic education within our school systems on what it actually means to be human, on what it means to be a spirit embodied within a vessel. This isn't a religious matter. This is a fact of life. A fact of life that science proves, that science acknowledges, and yet it is not in our school systems. It is not taught to children, so therefore they don't understand who they are right from the get-go. And if their parents are highly unconscious, they will become highly unconscious as well. Number 4, the system is set up to reward obedience and compliance, removing the value of different perspectives and needs. And all of our systems are set up this way. Our government, our school systems, everything that is under leadership is set up this way. So obedience and compliance is valued more than personal needs and personal value and the opinions of others. Number 5, we have too many trends, and trends cause people to disconnect from their true essence and from their true selves. Trends cause people to disconnect from their values. So if all you ever do is chase a trend and get on the next trend wagon, then you will always lack depth, because trends are nothing more than a marketing ploy created by companies, corporations, to make a buck off of your insecurity, off of your lack of depth. And then they add to your lack of depth by promoting it to you in such ways that convince you that it is the next best thing and you must have it. Otherwise, you will not fit in. You will not be accepted by society, or you will not be cool. I've never followed trends, personally. I've never had a desire to follow trends. Number 6, we have forgotten how to love ourselves wholly and purely. And we have placed value on things outside of ourselves to bring us joy and fulfillment. This is why trends work. This is why these marketing campaigns work. Because our entire society is built upon a foundation of external value rather than internal value. Therefore, we are constantly reaching for something outside of us to feel pretty, to feel attractive, to feel like we fit in, to feel like we belong. Number 7, too many conveniences have caused us to forget the value of natural creation. Number 8, all forms of media create comparison. And this is a big problem that creates a lack of depth within people. Everyone is so busy looking outside of themselves. Depth cannot be found outside of yourself, only within yourself. So the more that you are looking outside of yourself and comparing to the things that you see, the illusions that you see on social media, the more depth you are going to lack. Number 9, most people don't read books anymore. While there are many that do, and I feel like reading books perhaps is making a comeback, but our youth, the younger generations, many of them don't read books anymore. They don't have a drive or a desire to connect to a good story, to a valuable story, or to connect to something nonfiction where they could learn something really valuable. So is it any wonder that our society lacks depth when most people would rather entertain themselves than to learn something new, something of value, something that adds to their depth rather than takes away from it. Number 10, men and women don't know their role in society. They don't know what it means to express feminine or masculine energy in a healthy way. And if it was never modeled to them, or if it was never taught to them, how would they know? Number 11, people have forgotten how to date. Men don't know how to court in today's society, and women don't know how to be pursued. Piggybacking on my previous point in number 10, if you don't know what your role is as a man in society, and as a woman you don't know what your role is, then you're not going to get the dating part right either. Number 12, another reason why people lack depth in today's society is because most people are spiritually very disconnected. They don't have a spiritual practice. Many don't even believe in God. Or many believe in God, but do nothing to foster a connection, to nurture a connection with God. And that is probably one of the most important reasons why society lacks depth. Number 13, most people don't know how to have a meaningful conversation. They can't even carry a conversation. Social media is a perfect example of this. When you look out into the world and see how people communicate and how people talk, especially the younger generations, every other word is like. They're using filler words because they literally don't have a vocabulary. They don't know what to say. They don't have basic understanding of geography, of their own country. So is it any wonder society lacks depth? Most people are interested in talking about shows and movies and celebrities, these illusionary people that we idolize and put on pedestals, even though they're human just like us, even though they have significant faults just like us. People are more interested in talking about products or gossiping about the next door neighbor or whatever. We just don't have meaningful conversations anymore. Conversations where we support one another in conversation, or we actually grow or learn something new from a conversation. Number 14, most people are afraid to open up about themselves out of fear of being judged, out of fear of vulnerability, fear of being seen, fear of being misunderstood. And this also ties into those meaningful conversations. People would much rather wear a mask. They feel safer wearing a mask than to actually reveal the true parts of them. And I'm not talking here about, airing out your dirty laundry to everybody, but just about being authentic in the moment. Number 15. People judge more than they listen, and they talk more than they ask. And this is another big reason why society lacks depth. Most people just want to hear themselves talk and are always formulating the next sentence in their mind when they allow the other person to actually talk. People have forgotten how to listen intently, to be present in a conversation. And people oftentimes judge much more than they're listening. Every last minute detail of that individual or of that conversation or of their surroundings is being analyzed and judged instead of actually listening. So now that we went through these 15 points that I wrote down for why society lacks depth, and there's much more to this, of course. This was just things off the top of my head that came to mind. Let's now get into how we can create more depth within society, within ourselves. Each of us is a member of society. Each of us is a drop in the ocean. So if each drop just took care of their own stuff. So how to create more depth within yourself, within your life? Number 1 is read more books. Please read more books. And I'm not just talking fantasy novels here, but, nonfiction. Read books that add to you as a person, that make you more intelligent, that make you smarter, that make you understand the world better. Read books that expand your mind and break down the walls of limitation within you. Number 2, value your natural appearance. Can you just love all of you as perfectly imperfect as you are, as you have been made by your Creator? Can you just love all of it as you are and stop comparing it to the illusion that social media shows you? It's not real. You are real as you are, with every wrinkle, with every blemish, with every cellulite dimple, all of it. You are real. Number 3, take care of your body in a natural way. Be willing to do what it takes to get the results you want, even if it takes longer. Because whatever takes longer lasts longer too. So allow yourself to unhurriedly move through this process of recreating parts of yourself or all of yourself, whatever you are currently not satisfied with, and not satisfied with it because you know that you are better than this. You know that you can do better than this. Be willing to go on that journey, little by little, day by day. Number 4, buy less stuff. It is absolutely incredible how little we actually need and still be happy to live. We really don't need all that much. So don't buy into this illusion that this gadget or that clothing or that dress or that outfit or that makeup palette is what is going to bring you happiness, or that you need it. You actually really don't. The way that we're actually going to fix everything that is wrong in the world is by consuming less, having more depth within. And when you have more depth within yourself, you won't need as much, I promise you that. Because you will be happy, so happy, just being yourself, just being natural, and not being overcluttered with a bunch of stuff that you won't want. Number 5, don't follow trends. If you truly want to create depth in your life, then you need to stop following trends. Stop hopping on that wagon every single time the wagon comes along. And stop convincing yourself that that's where happiness lies. That you'll be happier if you just have that next thing, or if you just get the thing that everybody else is getting. It's a lie. And it takes away from your depth. Number 6, don't be wasteful. You know what trends create? An incredible amount of waste. And don't throw things away just because the trend is done. If you like that item, use it. Get maximum life out of things, out of items you have. This actually will create depth within you because you're going to really start to appreciate things. You're going to use them to their fullest ability. This creates appreciation within you for the things that you have, and you'll want to take more care of those things that you have and make them last. And once you start to get into that, that creates depth within you. I recently saw a video about how the Stanley Cups, how there was this massive rise and very quick fall to these Stanley Cups, and how when they first came out, it was like, you know, every TikTok girl and social media influencer had the Stanley Cup, and there was hundreds, if not thousands, of videos of women posting, you know, an entire wall filled with like a rainbow color, like every color you can imagine of these Stanley Cups. And then now that the trend is done, it crashed and burned, these same women who were bragging before about having like 30 of these darn cups were now basically sweeping them off the counter into garbage bags, because it turns out that those Stanley Cups are actually kind of toxic. Number 7, value your unique appearance, style, and beauty as you are, naturally. You can enhance your natural beauty in very simple, very natural ways. And the more that you learn to do this, the more depth it is going to create within you. There will be a level of appreciation for yourself like never before. You're going to really start to value your body and just love your body and love your appearance, regardless of your age, regardless of how many wrinkles you have. There is no one else like you. Number 8, don't be a follower. Be the leader of your own life. And try that out and see how that feels. Don't follow anything or anyone just because other people are following them. If that following brings you value, and joy. That's different. Don't follow others just because everyone else is doing it. Number 9, respect your body and your booty. And this message is for both men and women. So respect your body and your booty enough that you don't just put it on a silver platter and hand it out for free to anybody. The more that you can pull your own energy back and start valuing your own energy, the more depth you create within yourself, the more you get connected to who you truly are. And the more that you're going to realize that sharing your body or your booty with people is something that needs to be earned. It's not something that you just give away for free or give away easily. Number 10, use less conveniences. And I'm talking here about drive-thrus, ordering takeout, ordering groceries. And I know this is controversial. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this because, again, they like the convenience. But if you need to have a grocery service, then your life needs an overhaul. If you don't have time to get your own groceries, you are disconnecting yourself from the food that you're eating. You're not even the one picking it out for yourself anymore. I don't understand how people can use these services and be okay with someone else putting their weekly groceries together and picking it out for them. Do you think that person, that worker who's getting paid probably minimum wage to do this, do you think they care about the quality of the food that they're grabbing for you? And while I know there's a certain level of standard where they, try to obviously put the better stuff together, it's not always the case. I see these girls in the grocery stores when they're putting these things together, and half of them are so checked out. They're just going through the motion. Oh, okay, here's the list. This is what they need. They grab it. Like, they don't even take a second to look at what they're grabbing. They just kind of grab whatever's on the list. So if you want to have depth within yourself, and if you want to have a connection to the food that you're eating, you need to get that food yourself. Growing it yourself would be even better, because now you're going to value that food even more, which will create even more depth within you. But if that's not possible for you, then the least you can do is go and get it yourself. The less conveniences that you can use, the more you're actually going to appreciate life, the more depth and value you create within yourself. So meal kit ordering, like the HelloFresh, is the other thing I'm very much against, and I never ever hopped on that trend because, once again, I'm not okay with somebody sending me, mediocre food items to put together a meal. Online shopping is another convenience. I know many people, and more society seems to be moving towards online shopping. And, that's a convenience that I can agree with on a certain level. I myself also use online shopping, but very sparingly. Because once again, for me, it's important to have that connection with the product. I want to see it, I want to touch it, I want to smell it, I want to, see what it's like and choose for myself. The more we use these conveniences, we need to recognize that the more disconnected we become from everything, and the more disconnected we become from everything, the more disconnected we become from ourselves. This has a ripple effect. Number 11, learn what it means to be a man as a man, and learn what it means to be a woman as a woman. That connection and understanding truly what it means to be a man and how to embody masculine energy, and what it means to be a woman and how to embody feminine energy, and how to actually embody in a very healthy and balanced way both the masculine and feminine within, because we each have masculine and feminine energy within us. Learning how to balance that appropriately will help to create an immense amount of value and depth within. It's like a reconnection to that God source within you. Number 12, be okay with being alone. And when you are alone, can you be alone and be happy? And use your time effectively to either study or rest, or to work on yourself, to cook your own meals, to learn how to cook if you don't know how. Most people that are alone don't know how to be with themselves. They are so uncomfortable in their own silence because they lack the depth. And they don't even know where to start. That they're constantly reaching for something outside of them to entertain them, to distract them from their aloneness, instead of recognizing the value in that time spent alone and the incredible progress that you can make working on yourself, giving to yourself, filling your own cup. And when you are alone for long periods of time, try to use social media in a limited way to allow yourself time to reflect, to listen to your own internal stirrings, to what your heart is trying to guide you towards, to what your intuition is saying to you. Alone time is very valuable, but it must be perceived that way. Otherwise, you will be alone and you will suffer. Number 13, judge less and listen more. Listen in a present kind of way, where you're truly just observing without judgment. Now, this takes practice, so you're going to have to work on this, but it is absolutely doable. Number 14, create more and buy less. We undervalue creation and the profound and significant energy that we bring forth when we create, and joy that we bring forth when we create. And even if you fail, it doesn't matter. You get up, you dust yourself off, and you create again. So can we get back into the habits and into the routines of creating more and buying less? And the examples I used earlier, where you're online shopping less, and you're using conveniences less, and you're actually taking the time and you're buying your own groceries and making your own meals. This is the value of slowing down. Slowing down brings depth. And last but not least, number 15, don't waste your skills, talent, knowledge, and gifts. If you have a creative idea, follow through on it. Try. Start today. Start anywhere. One little step in that direction, and another little step tomorrow, and another little step the day after that will become something precious. So don't waste your gifts and your talents. I know so many people who do, and it's so sad. Use them. Share them with the world. Show others, give others the courage to also use their gifts, talents, skills, knowledge, wisdom, whatever they have. You give them the courage and the permission to also share it. I hope you found this video to be helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.